What are the biggest challenges women entrepreneurs face when accessing trade and supply chain finance?
Ecobank as an institution is definitely keen on supporting the economic development and financial integration of the continent.
GTFP program has financed about 300 women-led businesses from 10 countries. And then it's interesting to find out that about 70% of them are in the agriculture sector.
My name is Dipesh Patel, editor at Trade Finance Global.
My name is Makiko Toyoda. I'm a global head of 2 programs at IFC.
My name is Tacko Baro Fall, and I'm in charge of the West Africa Waemu zone.
Welcome to Trade Finance Talks, your go-to trade, treasury and payments podcast, brought to you by TFG. Today, we're in Barcelona for the IFC Global Trade Partners meeting. Increasing inclusion and access to finance for women across the world has been a key topic at this meeting, and we want to learn more about IFC's groundbreaking initiatives to promote women in trade. I'm excited to introduce Makiko Toyoda, Global Head, Global Trade Finance Program and the Global Supply Chain Finance Program at IFC, and Tacko Baro Fall, Head of Financial Institutions and International Organizations at Ecobank. Makiko, Tacko, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dipesh.
Thank you. So, quick introductions. Who are you? Where are you from? And what do you do? Makiko, over to you.
Thank you, Dipesh. My name is Makiko Toyoda. I'm a global head of 2 programs at IFC. One is a Global Trade Finance Program, GTFP, and the other one is a Global Supply Chain Finance Program, GSCF. And then I'm based in Washington, D.C. I've been working for IFC for 20 years.
Thank you. And Tacko?
Thank you, Dipesh. My name is Tacko Baro Fall, and I'm in charge of the West Africa Waemu zone for specifically financial institutions and international organizations for Ecobank Group. I'm based in Dakar, and I'm happy to be here today to do this interview. Thank you very much.
Thank you both. So, Makiko, the IFC's Banking on Women Who Trade Across Borders white paper that was launched very recently states that only 15% of exporting firms are women-led. What are some of the barriers, and how is the IFC's Global Trade Finance Program actually helping to address these barriers?
Thank you, Dipesh. I'd like to talk a little bit about IFC's Global Trade Finance Program, and then I'd like to talk about barriers that this report identified. So first of all, this program, GTFP, was launched about 20 years ago. It was 2004 that we launched this program. And then through this program, we are supporting financial institutions in emerging markets to access to global markets. And we have supported so far $108 billion of trade finance transactions. Back in 2019, we decided to partner with Goldman Sachs Foundation. And then we tried to provide a price discount for women importers and exporters in emerging markets. But it is so embarrassing to say that we booked only $260 million to date. $260 million is not a small number. For the same period, we have booked actually $40 billion of trade finance transactions, which means that we have only 0.65% of women transactions. This is not acceptable. This was a big motivation for us to do a deep dive to find out why we don't find any women transactions in a trade finance program. And then we launched this white paper, and then this research gave us good information about those barriers that women are facing in emerging markets. For example, they are facing difficult collateral requirements, they don't have a credit history, a high cost of trade finance transactions, and also complexity of trade finance products. What GTFP can do is to try to partner with those financial institutions network, and then try to give incentive for them to work on those women deals, which can be a motivation for them to book those women-related transactions. We also provide training programs for those banks to raise awareness, the importance of gender trade.
Thanks, Makiko. And Tacko, I guess you're one of the beneficiaries in terms of one of those financial institutions. What steps, Tacko, can we take to improve access to finance for women entrepreneurs facing some of those stringent collateral requirements that the white paper discussed, and also that lack of information? How can banks like Ecobank, your bank, facilitate this?
Thank you very much. Ecobank as an institution is definitely keen on supporting the economic development and financial integration of the continent. And for us, it is imperative that we support women. We simply cannot ignore them, as they constitute a significant number of our population and integral to the entrepreneurial landscape. Ecobank is rising definitely to the challenge to actualize the immense potential of women business owners. And in November 2020, we saw the launch of our gender financing program, Elevate. Our value proposition offered there women business owners an end-to-end partnership in which they gain differentiated business solutions comprising financial and non-financial services. This approach distinguishes from others women's programs where the focus is on either financial support or non-financial support. In the case of Ecobank, we consider both to be equally important. What are the needs here that we have identified? We recognize three basic needs: the access to credit, the access to markets, and the capabilities development. Just to answer to your question, I'll talk about the access to finance and the main challenge that we have identified, which is the collateral gap where we can see within the women financing business. The offering reflects our willingness and commitment to invest in women by devoting a portion of our loan book to supporting this market. The main solutions on which we have driven our strategy is to develop key partnerships and collaboration, mainly with non-profit organizations, government agencies, and international development institutions, and also some DFIs to leverage their expertise and resources in supporting women entrepreneurs. For an example, we have some partnerships like IFC that may definitely help us to lower our exposure on this specific area to be able to finance without less collateral using requirement to finance gender business, women entrepreneurship business.
Thank you very much, Tacko. And I think this partnership and also the Elevate program are really good tangible examples that were also featured and discussed in the white paper. Makiko, how has the Banking on Women GTFP program impacted women-owned businesses? And can you talk to us a little bit more about the other initiatives that IFC has for empowering women entrepreneurs?
So this IFC's program, which is called the Banking on Women GTFP program, has financed about 300 women-led businesses from 10 countries. And then it's interesting to find out that about 70% of them are in the agriculture sector. We have some success stories within this network. For example, one women-led company from Burkina Faso had access to our program via our partner bank, which is Coris Bank. And then they started import grain and rice and then export seas to Togo. So this company grew to the next level of the operations based on those trade, based on those export and import activities. And the other good example we have is from Vietnam, that this one cashew nuts processing company, which is owned by women, has access to our program via our partner. This is TP Bank. And then they buy cashew nuts from all over Africa. And then through these imports and exports activities, this company also grew. Now they are reached to the point that they are pretty much international companies. Those are success stories that we see in our program. But then apart from this investment program, we do have our advisory services where we provide direct assistance to the SMEs. And then those SME workshops that IFC is doing together with WTO, we had a training program which included women. We did in Cote d'Ivoire, we did in Rwanda. And then those seminars will give some information about trade finance products. So we tried to provide those necessary information for female participants participants so that they would be equipped to access to trade finance in one day. And then the other initiative that we are trying to do now is to launch this Women in Trade network. And this is an informal network, including all of our partner banks in our program. This is going to be a learning platform that we share best practices from all over the world. And then we tried to learn from each other so that we can find the best solutions.
Hey, enjoying this podcast? Hit that follow button for more. Done? Let's get back to it. Thank you, Makiko. Tacko, what are the biggest challenges women entrepreneurs face when accessing trade and supply chain finance, and how can guarantees or other trade finance instruments really help reduce some of those gaps?
From the Ecobank perspective, the main challenges are access to markets and access to capabilities. In general, the trade finance program allows us to include into the training programs some training sessions that definitely help our clients to leverage their capabilities and have better information of what is doable, what are their rights, and what definitely be able to increase their market share in a specific area. We also maybe will take this opportunity to share that we have launched a trade platform that may definitely help our clients, our women clients, to access to a market larger than one country, a market around 33 countries, where they will be able to sell and buy all the goods and services they are proposing.
Thank you very much. Makiko, I want to talk to you about blended finance because the white paper mentions that as a tool to help women entrepreneurs. How have blended finance and some of these solutions actually helped increase access to finance for women in trade?
Thank you. I think the way concessional financing support should be used by DFIs or MDBs is to motivate the stakeholders to commit to the development goal. The gender trade issue is about unjustified barriers derived from misconception, I think. That we need to raise awareness of this issue and then encourage banks to change their mindset. From that point of view, blended finance support from donors or maybe DFIs or MDBs can jumpstart the journey that banks need to go through to start financing women.
Tacko, in your role at Ecobank, I think I want to talk about trade innovation and trade digitalization because I'm wondering, can that specifically help enhance financial inclusion for women entrepreneurs?
It's a very good question, knowing that since the COVID-19 pandemic accelerated the shift to digitalization, leading to greater adoption of digital financial services, and Ecobank has also developed before that, but we noted an increase of our digital services used by most of the clients. And definitely when we talk about women in trade, we can say that women engagement in everyday online transaction has increased significantly within the pandemic COVID-19. Women are also more likely to use a mobile phone or the internet for online purchase compared to men in general. And we have settled a mobile money payment services that definitely have helped a lot within the trade transactions. I was talking about the Africa Trade Hub we have launched also that came in addition to definitely ease the trade in and out, buying and selling product within our network. And this is currently what we can say in terms of enhancement of trade business within women.
Thank you very much, Tacko. And Makiko, final question, and I'm going to ask you to take a bit of a helicopter view. What kind of role can all multilateral development banks play in promoting more access to trade finance for women entrepreneurs? And also, given that we've just had this roundtable for women in trade, what are your key take-homes and messages to those listening to this podcast?
Thank you for these important questions. In terms of the role of MDBs, we have the MDBs working group. This is led by WTO, and then this has been up and running for nearly 2 decades now. And I am the member of the MDBs working group, and I'm leading some task forces such as supply chain finance. I believe that each and every MDB is promoting gender trade in general. And then I think our mandate is to raise awareness of the issue and encourage the changes in the market. Surely, blended finance would be one of the solutions we can provide. But I must say that at this point of time, we don't have a task force for gender trade. This is again pretty embarrassing. But then I think in the future, maybe this is something that we can propose to have it under MDB's working group so that we can think about corrective actions. Because I think collective effort from all MDBs would give some impacts in the market if we want to call for actions. Today's roundtable, I learned some good suggestions from the participants. For example, one participant was talking about regulatory requirements that we can propose to the government to flag those women businesses. This is a fantastic idea that maybe something we would like to talk among the MDBs and see how we can approach those regulatory bodies to think about those options. I think this is something that I learned today from these roundtable discussions.
Makiko, Tacko, thank you very much for joining us on Trade Finance Talks. It's been such a pleasure having you, and here we are at Trade Finance Global. We're delighted to be media partners of the Global Trade Partners meeting here in Barcelona on the launch of the brilliant white paper, Banking on Women Who Trade Across Borders. Thank you both.